I'm Dr. Dale McCall. I'm the Dean of Guam. I want to thank you greatly for being here today. So we greatly appreciate y'all's being part of this for us today. I'm going to introduce at this point Mr. Joey Johnson, the Senior Sales and Marketing Director of Texas at Train.
I'd like to take this time to introduce our next guest. But to me, he's not a guest. He's been around a long time. In fact, when I started looking to introduce him, his bio is so long and it's so impressive that I had to remember, was I just so old I can't remember it, or is he really that impressive? So I believe he's that impressive. He's the former president and founding partner of Capstone Mechanical. He actually retired earlier this year. In retirement, he spends his time serving the community in the following ways. And like I said, I had to write it all down. He's a trustway for Midway Independent School District since 2013. He's chairman-elect, and very happy of that, for the Executive Board of Advisors for the Greater Waco Manufacturing Academy. He's chairman of the Public Policy Committee for Greater Waco Chamber of Commerce. He's co-chair of the advisory committee for the new TSTC City of Waco, McLennan County collaboration called Worksite. And we're very happy that got named in the last month, so thank you, Rick. He's co-host of the Waco History Podcast, Crossroads Series. His wife, Elizabeth, reside in Midway, and they have 4 sons, Ross, Kyle, Jack, and Cade. Without further ado, my friend, Rick Tullis.
All right. Hey, glad to be here. I was just, the people I used to work with at Capstone, my old family here, they love me so much, they said, "You look really old compared to those pictures in the video that we just saw." I'm like, thanks, guys. So I'm going to take just a second and talk about some of the legend behind Guama and how we got here, a little bit of the origin story. You guys keep eating, don't slow down. One of the, as we all know, we probably have all experienced in life, most of the times a good idea does not come to fruition, right? Most good ideas just don't make it into what we're getting to celebrate here today. So I was thinking of a couple of those good ideas that didn't make it, and maybe you can relate. But have you ever been in a hotel room and you're trying to, you've got the biggest bug light in the world outside your window, and you're trying to shut the curtains, and you can't ever get them to really close all the way? Why can't they make them overlap so they go ahead and close all the way and keep the light out, right? It seems like a pretty easy idea. Or the fitted sheet that you're trying to put on your bed, can they not mark what the lower left corner is or the lower right corner? I mean, these are not hard ideas that could be implemented in life. So when you think about those easy ones and you go, how did something like Guama come about, that's something as complicated with as many moving pieces and people involved? It really is incredible. And so I'll list out at least 10 of the ingredients that happened in order for this institution to even start. So the first one was just coming up with the idea. So around 2010, some of the leadership of the Waco Business League, which if you guys aren't familiar with the Business League, it's a CEO group that meets regularly, and they try to think about things that on how to improve Waco and how to think about the future. And so there's a group of those leaders. In fact, some of them are here: Charlie Olson, Willard Still, Scott Felton. Some of these guys were dreaming about and thinking and hearing from their customers in the marketplace about the need for workforce development. And then also, Charlie had had a lot of experience in public ed, having been school board president at WISD. And so they kind of had this idea of getting the trades and getting that back into schools. And the next ingredient, the second ingredient, was a willing superintendent. So Bonnie Kane was the incoming superintendent about that time, in I think 2011, 2012. And they pitched the idea to her, and she actually said, "Yeah, we'll try that." And as you guys know, or a lot of times, you know, the business world has great ideas for education, and the educators kind of smile and nod, and they're kind of like, oh, okay, we'll get back to you on that. So for someone to say yes, and I'm not saying you're doing that right now at all, not at all, Susan. But then beyond that, you know, Bonnie and her team took that idea and they grew it even further. It wasn't, hey, let's just get some classes going. It became an academy, an idea of an academy, and not only the academy idea, but an open academy where other school districts could send people to, or send students. So the third ingredient was a willing school board. So you know, school boards sit around and have to approve stuff, and we hear lots of crazy ideas sometimes too. And so for them, for Pat Atkins, who was the school board president at the time, and that team to say yes was an incredible part of the collaboration that happened here. And then a building was available. You know, not oftentimes do institutions have extra buildings just sitting around, but at that point they did. And it was an old Doris Miller Elementary School, I believe was the original name. So that was sitting there ready to go. And then an incredible CTE director, Donna McCathan, her and her team took hold of the idea and tirelessly she put together staff and curriculum and reached out to the business community and actually asked us for our ideas, and it seemed like she appreciated them. This was really amazing. Number 6, the Texas legislature in about that time frame, I think it was 2013, passed House Bill 5, which really opened up a lot of the things that we're able to do now with career and technology education. Usually we don't think of Austin as a collaborator with us in the greater good of education at times, but they were that year, and that bill definitely paved the way for us to be able to do this. There was also, number 7, there was a group of design professionals, construction and design professionals who were part of someone part of the Waco Business League, but otherwise that started gathering with Donna and her team early on to figure out, hey, how are we going to renovate this building that we have and turn it into a school? And so that included Ed Mazonik and Bob Wallace and some other people. Very, very grateful to get something done that quickly and turned around. And then, this is amazing, the business community, it takes money, right? School districts just don't have pots of money sitting around to go renovate buildings. Usually you have to call a bond election and do stuff like that, but we knew if we were gonna get this thing going, we had to raise the money locally. And so the business community, with the help of the county and the city, also Waco Industrial Foundation and the Business League as well, raised, I think, almost $300,000 for that renovation. That was a pretty big lift. Number 9, multiple school districts have been involved with this deal. It has been a cross collaboration, you know, not just between business and education, but even between the educators. It's a huge collaboration. And then I'd also say number 10, the number 10 ingredient, an active executive advisory board. It started at the very beginning, right? A lot of people that were involved with getting thing going. It just rolled into an advisory committee that's actually lived on. It stayed vibrant. It's grown. I don't know if any of you guys have been involved with advisory committees in the education space before, but you know, a lot of times those things just kind of wax and wane. This one has stayed strong. The engagement has been high the whole time. So with that, I proclaim this the best collaborative, cross-community collaborative effort our community has ever done is GWAMA. Okay, that's all I got to say. But so that's a little bit of the legend behind it. More importantly, I want to introduce Andrea Bearfield to come up. She is the city council woman from District 1 at the city of Waco, and she has something she'd like to share.
Thank you, sir. Good afternoon. You have to check. I mean, so many things you said are true and facts, and I don't know, you know, we're of a certain age, and so when I say from the A-Team, when Hannibal said, I love it when a plan comes together, that's what we mean. The collaborative efforts for the dedicated stakeholders in Waco and McLennan County believe in this city and believe in its future. And so when a identifiable need arose, it was met. And this is just the first of many milestone anniversaries that we'll celebrate for Guama. I am incredibly proud to have its home be in District 1 for many reasons. One, just because District 1 is bomb and everything should be there. But two, I personally have a dedication to ensuring on-ramps and off-ramps for our children, for our future. So many things have ebbed and flowed in how education works, and skilled laborers were at a deficit when we took away shop classes and those kinds of things in the school. But the needs were ever growing. And entities like Guama meet those needs. We have an opportunity to make sure that our community has skilled, trained tradesmen and women that can continue to do the work that we have to have. The future is digital, the future is technological, the future is mechanical, but somebody has to know how to do that. That's why this is important. It is important because if we are going to continue to build and grow, we've got to make sure that those babies see a pathway. And everybody can go. Traditional education is traditional education, but I don't know one child that is like another one. And everybody's needs are different. So we have to make places that meet the needs of our future. And that's what this does. I'm especially excited because I know, you all know that I'm diligently working to open a out-of-school STEAM center, because I think that what we get in school is awesome. But what happens if we have another opportunity? And the fact that in this particular school, they do have day STEM. So they're reiterating that in the school day as it is in other schools, and we can continue to build and grow. That's how, you advance our local colleges and universities. That's how TSTC stays strong. That's how MCC stays strong, both in District 1, by the way. And that's how Baylor excels in any other state or private university across this country. But we come together because we're invested in our future. So I get to actually proclaim that 10 years ago, this good idea this plan that came together really came together, and we look forward to its future. So I am going to, Dr. McCall, are you receiving this? All right. So I'm gonna give you this and then say, on behalf of the city of Waco, it is my pleasure to issue this proclamation that reads, I, Dylan Meek, by virtue of authority vested in me as mayor of the city of Waco, do hereby proclaim September 7th, 2023 as the 10th anniversary of the Greater Waco Advanced Manufacturing Academy Guama Day. We do that, yes. We proclaim that in the city of Waco and urge all citizens to join with the city council, city staff, and me in honoring this remarkable organization as they serve the students from the city of Waco and surrounding communities by helping them to improve achievement through career-centered learning, providing expanded choices in experiential technical learning experiences, and creating an industry-based network. Greater Waco Advanced Manufacturing Academy began about 12 years ago, born from an idea of several local industry leaders and Donna McKethan, Director of Career and Technical Education for Waco ISD. In conjunction with the Waco Business League, City of Waco, McLennan County, commissioners, and financial support of area industries and businesses, Waco ISD leadership was able to locate Guama at the once closed site at an elementary school in East Waco. The primary goal of the program is to provide high school students with educational opportunities to obtain skills set in various industrial and business trades, such as architecture and computer-aided design, construction science, robotics, and welding. Students in grades 10 through 12 who are enrolled in Guama come from 7 different area schools, and enrollment is around 270 students for this academic year. Being a work-based program, students are allowed to explore a path right after high school that will certainly include post-secondary training to enhance an already strong skill set. Industry-based certifications are provided in each specialty so that students will be able to graduate from high school with the qualifications to enter the job market of their chosen discipline as more qualified candidates. At Guama, there is a continued commitment to impact the manufacturing workforce by creating pathways for high school students to earn industry-recognized certifications, hands-on experience, and trade skill. So it is my privilege to make this proclamation and testimony whereof, witness my hand to seal the city of Waco the 7th day of September, AD 2023.
Got a list of people I want to recognize. I just want to say thank you for everyone. I mean, y'all don't realize what good this does to an old heart, okay, to be able to see y'all out here celebrating with us today. So I just want to thank everybody. Lisa Saxenian, Waco CTE Director. Y'all can just wave your hand. Please don't, you don't have to stand up. There you go. County Judge Scott Felton. County Administrator Dustin Chapman. Got to the point where I have to use these things now. Commissioner Will Jones. Commissioner Patricia Miller. City Councilwoman Andrea Bearfield. And I would have to say about Councilwoman Bearfield, she has come to Guama, as many of y'all in this audience have, and spoken to our students, and we greatly appreciate the input from the city and the county for our students. Matt Metters, President and CEO of the Greater Waco Chamber of Commerce. Mayor Dylan Meeks. Was he? He was here. Good. Chris Collins, Senior Vice President of Economic Development of the Greater Waco Chamber of Commerce. Former Mayor Virginia Dupree. Dr. Robin McDurham, Transformation Zone CEO. Dr. Jerry Mays, and is Jerry in the room? I don't know if Jerry's in the room or not, but he provided this room for us at no cost to Guama or WSD. So I greatly appreciate that, Jerry. Executive Director of Region 12. Donna McKethan, former CT Director of Guama. You need to stand up, okay? Yeah. Okay. Marcus Walker, the first Project Director of Guama. Marcus, stand up. I greatly appreciate the other deans of Waco ISD being here. Dr. Beth Brabham, the Dean of the PTEC, which is the educators at WISD. Matt Rambo, the Dean of GUACA, the healthcare at WISD. Sarah Bartlett, Dean of CTE at Waco High. James Stewart, Dean of CTE at University High School. And I would say she's my right hand, but she's also half on my left hand most of the time. And that's Ms. Jennifer Harrell, who is the coordinator at Guama. If not for Nancy, I would venture that 3/4 of you would not be here. And with her help and Lisa's help and Jennifer's help, this setup is what we have. So I want to greatly let y'all know how much indebted we are to not only these people, but Nancy Lacey is such a value to us, and she also is on our executive board. Now I get to introduce a person right to my left, okay, who is my superintendent of school at Waco ISD. Dr. Kincannon has been here just a little over 3 years, 4 years now? 4 years? Yep. And I can't tell you that I have worked with, having been a former employer in this city for 27 years as a practicing general dentist in the Belmead area, and then working with TSTC for 7 years, and then coming to Waco ISD. I've never worked with a boss who really cares as much for her students and the staff that she works with. So I want to introduce Dr. Susan Kincannon.
Well, good afternoon. And I also want to thank all of you for coming out today to celebrate the 10th year anniversary of the Greater Waco Area Manufacturing Academy program. And I want to especially thank all of you who have been a part of this since the very beginning of the program. So if you had anything to do with the opening of Guama, from casting an original vision for such an important program, participating in the planning, providing financial support, or even teaching or working at Guama, would you stand and be recognized? I bet that's a bunch of people in this room. Let's see who was here 10 years ago. Awesome. Thank you. Let me also say thank you to Cheryl Davis. I haven't seen her. Cheryl's our CFO. And I have a number of my staff here with me today, but Cheryl's been a part of this program the entire time. And being CFO of a district the size of Waco ISD is no small feat. And then when you get handed some additional projects that include coordination with multiple districts, that becomes a lot of work. And she's done a fantastic job of that, facilitating that partnership over the years. So I want to say thank you to her. Also, thank you to Dell, Lisa, Nancy Lacey, Curtis Cleveland, Jerry Mays, Jennifer Collier, and all of the team that made this possible today. Didn't they do a great job of putting this together? Really well done. It was really great walking in and seeing everyone, and I think it was really important to note that this group, Guama, this school, undoubtedly has a loyal group of supporters who've invested in the program over the years, and not only invested but have stayed steadfast in that commitment to ensure that this program continues to meet local workforce needs. And that's what it's about, is meeting those local workforce needs and making sure our kids get to do something that they love to do in life. And so it's been my pleasure to get to know many of you and to witness your passion and your love for developing the next generation of skilled workers. And it does mean so much to see the community here today to celebrate what we're calling, I'm going to call this the region's premier workforce development partnership. So I think you said that, Mr. Tullis, but I think this is definitely an outstanding model of that. I wasn't here in 2013 when this program started, but I remember Guama starting. And my memory is of sitting in a meeting at Fort Hood, listening to Donna McKethan, talking about the new program and everything that was in the works for Guama and for the students in Waco ISD. And I paid attention to what Donna was saying that day, and she was bragging like only Donna can do about Guama. But I paid attention, and I was a bit envious, I remember, because of these types of programs there was a lot of talk about these types of programs during that time period. And there were some programs across the country and the state, but very limited in terms of school districts pulling together this kind of a program for CTE. And it was an interesting time educationally, as Mr. Tullis mentioned, because we were under what was called a 4x4 graduation plan at the time, and there was a lot of frustration about that. Our students had to have credits, 4 math credits, 4 science credits, 4 social studies credits, what'd I forget, and reading language arts, right, English. And they had little time in their schedules to take many other courses. And so, oh, by the way, they had 15 end-of-course exams in 2013. Can you believe that? That we were taking. That's just a little side note from an old superintendent. But there was little space for kids to take courses that they were interested in and really explore pathways such as what we offer at Guama. And so it was an odd time, but tides can change, right? And that's because of smart people like many of you in this room who advocated for doing better for our kids and our communities. And we're thankful for that. We're thankful for people who champion ideas and who helped us to get some changes in the Texas State Legislature for that 4x4 diploma plan. And you were right to do that, and your timing was really kind of perfect, and really kind of remarkable to think that, and I didn't realize you'd done that since 2010, had been working on it, especially in light of that 4x4 plan, but that was really remarkable work during that time period with that in place. And of course, a great vision, and it couldn't have been more perfect. And I'm just thankful for all of the advocates who helped get that change through, and especially one of my favorite politicians, Jimmy Don Aycock, state representative out of Killeen, who championed House Bill 5 and helped get that 4x4 plan changed for us and get those 15 EOCs gone as well. And so that was all happening right at the same time you actually opened the doors of GWAMA. So you didn't know, you had no idea that that was going to change when you opened that school. And that's been a fantastic thing. So today I want to announce, and I'm proud to announce that in 2022, 26% of Waco ISD's students, and that's up 9% from 2021, earned an industry-based certification. Yeah. So think about that. More than a quarter of our students have a certification that they can take out the door and go and apply for a job, a real job. And that's significant for our students, and I'm proud of that. I married a CTE guy, and I know firsthand his love and passion for the work that he does, and the difference and fulfillment that it's made in his life. And I, too, am a champion of these programs and just really value the work that's being done and has been done here. So thank you all for making that happen. We're proud of everything that what GWAMA stands for, everything that's happened here. And I get excited every time I go over and I see the students in the classrooms. We do have some girls, which makes me very happy to see a few girls sitting in those rooms right alongside the guys. But it's great when you see kids getting to follow their hearts and do things that they love to do, that are hands-on, that are going to make them a good living when they graduate from high school, or they're going to carry them on as a skill that they can use while they're in some other type of post-secondary educational program. So congratulations to GWAMA, and again, thank you all for coming today.
I'm Curtis Cleveland. I am one of the original executive committee members that worked alongside with Rick and a lot of folks in this room. And this truly was a dream. And one of the significant factors of what GWAMA is about is that Charlie and Pat were around with the Waco ISD when we were talking about this dream. They're gone. But yet our current school board is still supportive of what's happening at GWAMA. So that's a testament right there about what a great program this is. And there are a lot of companies in this room who have been benefiting and who will continue to benefit. They're hiring our GWAMA students. And GWAMA has become a pipeline for Waco industry. Our great instructors give skills that make them employable. And my selling point to Pat and Charlie many years ago was, this is one of the best opportunities that we have to lift children whose families are living in poverty into a work skill, wage earning, benefit position that can lift them out of poverty. We've done that, and that's exciting. One of our partners at GWAMA, and I'm going to put on my TSTC Regents hat on for a second, is TSTC. GWAMA is a pipeline of students who want to take the skills they've learned at GWAMA and they want to enhance their skills. And we have a perfect working relationship with TSTC. And a lot of you in this room probably have not met our new provost yet, Beth Wooten,
who is going to be a fabulous addition for this community and developing workforce and for the growth of TSDC, which is about to explode, folks. Beth, stand up so everybody can meet you. Now, I've got the pleasure of introducing our keynote speaker today. One of the first things that we, as the executive committee, want to do is we want to add a permanent workforce advisor to our group. And the best way we can show that, Pete, is to give you a hat.
There you go. Thank you.
I'm not through. Pete's a Waco native. He grew up in Waco. Dr. Kincannon, this is something you might not know about Pete. Pete was a Tennesson Texan, which means Pete was in the pipeline that feeds Guama. And had Pete stayed in town, you might have been a Guama student.
Probably a welder.
Many years ago. We would have met together at, I'm a Waco native and I was at Lake Air, so we were bitter enemies, Tennyson and Lake Air, but we would have met together at Richfield. Pete's been in Congress for 24 years. He served us well, he served our nation well. Every time that I have interfaced with Pete or with Kevin Burnett in the last 12 months, the subject always comes back to workforce. And every time we talk about workforce. And last Friday, Congressman Sessions was with community leadership, and his main topic was workforce development. And so Guama is a piece of the workforce development pipeline. And we're so thankful and excited that you want to join us here for this 10th anniversary celebration, and we look forward to your comments.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much. It's an opportunity for me to be here today, and we're going to put some slides up here. I hate to do that to you, but it reminds me of being in Mr. Norris's algebra class in 7th grade at Tennessee. Yeah, I learned not to sit in the back. About 42 years ago, I was at Southwestern University, and Southwestern came to play Baylor. And we used to have a man who I consider to be the greatest announcer in the history of announcing sports, Frank Fallon. And Frank Fallon gave the kindest welcome, almost like we did today, to Charlie Olson. And Charlie played basketball at Southwestern. Charlie's a fraternity brother. But we got to come up here to Waco and hear Frank Fallon gush about the great Charlie Olson. Charlie, I'm really proud of you. I won't tell the rest of the story. The bottom line is Charlie Olson is an asset. The Olson family, as well as his brother and his parents, are an asset to this community, and it's with great pride that I'm here. Chairman Tullis has a son, an older son, who works for us, communications director. Did he give you our PowerPoint?
No.
Oh, well, I'm stealing from you or you're stealing from me. When I was at Bell Labs, when I was at Bell Labs, we had a saying up there that if you get an idea from one source, you have to attribute it, but if you get it from one source, it's plagiarism. 2 is research. So we're doing some research today. Judge, thank you for being here. I'm going to talk about you and our young mayor, Dylan. I'm going to talk about our school system today. But what I want to do is give you a perspective of what Rick Tullis did not use the term, but I'm going to. Best in class. We are not a huge city, but we're a city that has needs. We have students, we have employers, we have business, we have government. And each of these things need to collaborate together if you're going to be successful. And so what I've got is a couple slide
pieces here in this deck that tell you the way we tend to look at it. We have quickly, Scott Bland began this a couple of years ago with us as he talked about Guama. And Scott got us very interested, not just in the concept, but the understanding. Hap Nielsen pushed this along, and now we've got a district director, Kevin Burnett, who sees over 14 counties, and you'll see in the map in a minute. But we see this across 14 counties. And we went and hired a guy, Jackson Mountain. Jackson, stand up. And Jackson is our workforce development expert. And I know I'm a bear, sick of bears, but he flashes gang signs. But we got Jackson from UT. So what I want to do today is to talk about our perspective. What'd you do, flash me back? All right, I'll do that. That's a gang sign. Gang signs from down there. What we want to do is talk with you about the formation of what we believe are models of success. And while this is very much a choir practice, I think it's important to note in my past, when I moved back from Bell Labs to Texas in 1989, my sales force, I had the largest in AT&T at that time, over 700 employees. We were 12th in the company. And at the end of the first month, and for 39 straight months, we were number one. And that is because we modeled ourselves for success instead of just getting better. And that is what this does. And Superintendent, you have modeled this, not to win, but for success. And there are a lot of people that want to be in that equation. But it takes capital investment. That's the first thing that everybody will learn. You got to have somebody that wants something. And so each of these things we think fit together. Go for it, Jordan. And so we believe that CNBC, there it goes, Texas is number one. We're a part of a beautiful state where a lot of things are coming to us. The question is, are we capable? Are we able? Will we be competitive to take advantage of the success of this rain dance? No, it's not rain. Success of this overwhelming capital drive to move to Texas. And as you know well, within this congressional district, we have Taylor, Texas, which is the Samsung plant. This is big, $20 billion coming there very quickly. Keep going, Jordan. Well, one of the things that we want to focus you on is some of the things that corporate leaders look for and site selectors look at. And we think that this is important because there are people here, including the Industrial League here, including the council, including the chamber, including our elected officials. This is what people look for and look at the time they're deciding to make moves. And I think that one of the most important things is an effective workforce, trained, ready, and ready to go. And you can see the success model. It's all around us. I was at Amazon 2 weeks ago. They can't hire enough employees. And so if we're going to make sure that we continue this drive, not just Central Texas Iron Works, not just Amazon, not just, Brazos Masonry, we have to have people who are up and ready, trained and ready to go. And so it's important that we have choir practice like this to where it goes. And over our 14 county district, we have a chance to see models by county judges, models of junior colleges, technical centers. And we actually believe that what we're doing here is that, Rick told us, best in class. We believe what you're doing here is the entire community working together, knowing how you're going to get things done. But we really have to stay after this. And this is a robust opportunity. Thank you. Thank you. This is a robust opportunity for our team. What we have done is what we think works, what's best in class, what's second or third place, and then maybe somebody couldn't put it together. We believe that on the left side column, I think it's left to you too, the A plus is McLennan County. We believe it is Guama. We believe it is your, as you look at it, the elected officials, the infrastructure, the ability to work together, the ability to see success, the ability to have housing. Whoops, we need to work on that. We have a water problem. Lowest amount of water coming into Lake Waco since 1959. Well, I'm not a Christian, I'm a Methodist. But we pray for rain, and we have prayed especially hard the last 2 Sundays. Look what happened. So there is a Lord, there is a God. We just need to keep praying, but we need more water. But that is just one of the things that is actually critical if you want to be successful. And so I want to throw this up to you and have you see that this is something that we work very carefully with Judge Felton on. And he works very carefully on each and every one of these areas. Education, and we're going to talk about that in a minute. Key component, but so is having housing, so is having water, so is having health care, so is having, and so putting all these together means that you do have to have a TSTC. You do have to have an MCC. You do have to have a Baylor University. You do have to have all of these components of not just putting education together, but putting the package together. And I must tell you, I'll just be honest, Judge Felton is best of class also. And he listens and gets things done. And so for those members of the court that are here, I want to say thank you for the great job. So if you look at this, we also, the last part of that screen is competition. And competition is alive and well in this congressional district about when people approach us about jobs. Now they have specific needs, but Mr. Burnett is very careful. It's not just like you get one, you get one, you get one. We're trying to apply the things that they want, but jobs, education, healthcare, housing, all these things fit together. Last 2 weeks ago, we were at the Temple Inland Foundation, and the foundation held us there for 4 hours, and they really are smart about what they intended to tell me and where they felt like my time would be best. And we had seen them because Kevin was knocking around and necessarily in their side of the district on workforce development. We'd been out at Angelina College. Kevin's aware we need certain things that Houston is hiring. Well, Houston's right there. Huntsville, which is in this district, is right there. And we're going to go help those people too. But they focused me on what would be the left side of the screen over in the red, and I'd like for you to focus on it for just a second, because the superintendent, among others, in Curtis Cleveland, and every speaker we said, says the same thing. It starts with education. It starts with our children. It starts with putting invigorating people in front of our children who can captivate not only their minds, but understand that we've got to lead them. Some could say to a job, but I think it's to a promised land, and that is of a skill. You educate people and you train animals. We educate people. We give them the opportunity to go and learn these skill sets. And you will see where the numbers are right there. On the right side of the screen, the well-known Central Texas philosopher Mackey Bounds, and then Curtis Cleveland seconded this. If a member of the family, no matter who they are, gets an opportunity to see this vision because someone helps them get that done, you connect with people, then what happens is it changes not just their whole household, but their whole family, their outlook on life. And this is the one thing that I think we do excel in, and I sell it to anybody who will ask, that we have people who will work. We have people who are hungry. We have people who see a brighter side, a better vision. They're not looking for to stay at home. They're looking to advance. And if we show them these things, I guarantee you they'll come and take advantage of it. And it's to better their family. Now, we could all say, well, we don't know exactly who that is. Yes, we do. It is some of the newest people who've come to this country. It is Hispanics, African Americans, it's people, it's every household has a demand. I have a son in the top 2% academically who is a medical doctor at Dell Children's Hospital. He's an internist. And I have a Down syndrome son that's in the bottom 2% academically. But they both get up and go to work every day, and Alex works at Home Depot and does the best of his ability to do it. We've got a lot of kids in between that. And we don't have to say we're only in the, no, we're in the whole thing. And we have to find a way that we understand the demand that is on us. And perhaps it starts in kindergarten, perhaps it's through 12th grade. I would say, submit myself to the superintendent and say, she's going to have to decide if it's 7th or 8th grade. She's going to have to decide if it's 6th grade. You're going to decide that. But once we get in that, we're going to make sure that they not only get a skill, which is important, but they have a better outlook of where their contribution in life can be. And this is life-altering to a city like Waco, Texas, in this county. And so I'm really proud of it, but I will tell you, Temple Foundation would not leave me alone. They wanted me to understand that this is the connection point. But you got to have all the other stuff, but the connection point is where we decide where we're going. But some of these students that say, I don't like math, well, we'll still get you through it, because you got to have math in piping, you got to have math if you put a wall up. And because the work that was done in the legislature 12 years ago, you have an opportunity to have these kids to understand you can get an education. It doesn't have to be MCC, Baylor University. It can be having a job here, and I'll bet you $1 they make more in the first 10 years than someone that went to Baylor. That's a bet, because there is a demand for technical skills. So I think when you put all this together, you need to be able to, as a community, see your next success. That success, best in class, is right here. And that is what Rick Tullis and Curtis tried to tell you. We need to celebrate the success. We need to continue to work together, that same model that works. Lots of places are saying what they're doing is not working. They start over with education every 2 years in Austin. I think we know what works. We're delighted to be a part of this. Last slide is, and I'm a part of that also. Go back one, Jordan. The one that says Kevin Burnett. That is what we're in this for too. We are in this to be a part of the solution. And when you go for solutions, you will realize that people that have value include them. And that's what Kevin Burnett is, and that's what Jackson Mountain is. We do our best to try and come and pay attention. But I will tell you, they come to our office, a whole bunch of them. We want them to be where they're best fit. We want them to be where success happens. And I think that what you're doing here is really great. So, hearty congratulations. Know this, we care deeply about this. This is my hometown. That's where I grew up. Went to St. Paul's, Providence Heights, Tennyson. One of my fraternity brothers, Charlie, may or may not acknowledge him, but we will together then, okay. Bland Cromwell. And, so this ragtag group of people met down at Southwestern, and we love where we're from. There are other people, John Cornelius, who is a an ophthalmologist here, but a good number of people came back home because this is where you want to be. So congratulations, and God bless you.
I want to make one more plug. Every spring, we Guama, we award scholarships to the most outstanding students from multiple school districts. And those students are able to take the skill that they learned at Guama and enhance it as they continue their education. A lot of them go to TSTC. Our welding students, our Guama welding students, made these sculptures. And I want our two welding instructors in the corner to pass on to your students. They did an outstanding job. So these sculptures y'all see on the tables, they're for sale. Every penny that comes from the sale of these sculptures is going to go create a new scholarship that Dale will award next spring. So I bought mine. I hope everybody here is so excited you want to buy one. If we run out, we'll get some more made for you. You don't have to pay today. If you'll put your name on the sign, we'll send you an invoice. We'll find you. And thank you for supporting us.
Thank you so much, Curtis. I've got one more award I want to award. In beginning of this year, it's the presentation of the Business Support Award. And, I could give that to so many businesses. And I know that while I've been at Guama for going on 8 years now, this local industry has provided to Guama right at $200,000 in grants over a period of not even quite 8 years. That relieves a lot of my budget, but it helps my kids to see things they would never be able to see before. Yep. So Tommy, I need you to come up. Tommy Tankston. Tommy didn't know this was coming. Nobody knew this was coming. Laser etched by my robotics department. I'm going to read this. This display is being presented to Howmet Aerospace for their long-standing support of the Greater Waco Advanced Manufacturing Academy and Waco ISD. They have continued to support Guama each year with financial support through grants and by allowing personnel from the company to participate on our executive board and participate in our mock interviews and job fairs. Howmet Aerospace commitment to the community has made a significant difference for the students in the Waco and Region 12 areas. Thank you, Tom. We have a few closing remarks by Joey Johnson.
Dell and Curtis will do anything to keep me from getting in front of the mic. What can I say? I'd really like to thank you all for being here. Curtis made a good point about the statues. If you'll notice, I couldn't put my name on all of them because I can't afford them, but I put it on as many as I could. So feel free to do that. It does go to scholarships, and students greatly appreciate that. I'd like to thank Region 12 for the facility that Dell mentioned. It was free of charge. George's Restaurant for the food. Congressman for your comments, Dr. Kincannon for yours, Rick for yours as always, City Councilwoman, really appreciate that. Table sponsors, thank you very much. That was 14 tables that we had. Just think about when we do our 20-year reunion, we're going to have 163.4 tables. That's going to be great. Everyone who donated to the scholarships this last year, I'd like to thank you if you're present. And then thank you all for anyone who does purchase the table displays. God bless you. Peace be with you. Return into your homes. Thank you very much.